Alright, so I think that this game is kind of a scam. This board game, I like it because of being Scooby-Doo, but it costs $50. You could buy Clue for like 10 bucks. That was Walmart, so maybe 10, 25, whatever, but like, you know, 50 bucks. I was kind of hoping for quality, and the quality is so bad, I am going to be trying to transform this board game. I'm going to outline right now, where I'm at and what I plan to do. So here we have, like, the pieces. These pieces are garbage. I hate these pieces so much. These are just cardboard inserts that get trashed when you, like, jam them into this plastic piece. What I ended up doing was I found some 3D models and I just 3D printed our own game pieces. I will try to make those files available. Let me back up a little bit. I don't like the layout here. I don't like the colors are different for the gang members, and I don't like that we have the maid, Mrs. White. I want Scrappy-Doo instead. That way they're all Scooby-Doo characters. So she's going to be replaced with Scrappy-Doo. Now I've already 3D printed these pieces, so I don't have to do that now. I'll show those later on in this video. Right now, I need to paint these metal pieces to look more like this, because these metal pieces are all really small and easy to mix up, and if you're looking at these cards trying to identify them, it's like, oh, they should look like that, and they don't. And then the next major thing is the board game itself, or the board itself. I really do not like the doors. This is something that my friends also struggle with. It's just like, okay, why is it that you have this door that is right next to the color brown? Just, keep in mind how zoomed in I am. It shouldn't be that hard to find a doorway. And then, I think the most egregious one is actually the graveyard. Zoom in more. It's like, oh yes, that tiny gap is where the door is. So, obviously, that's not good. What I want to do is, like, draw, like, some, like, green ghostly squiggle lines around the door. And, that'll be, like, your cue is like, oh, there's a doorway here.
We've been living in sin so long, all the feels are gone. Fella stopped me on the street last night, said everything's alright. Roller coaster, make it through the day, alright. It seems your meal ticket is gone, but life goes on. I could never imagine something better. Yeah, right. Now you're cooking on high heat in the middle of the street. Roller coaster, take me to a better time. Let's go! All sing your high line with the roller coaster of life. Yeah. It's time to all choose your timeline on the roller coaster of life. You seem to easily forget how to place your bet. When everyday life gets you down, you gotta steal the crown. Got to own it. Don't moan about it, please. God forbid you scrape your knees, and it's nothing to sneeze at. Oh, I've told you over.
Finally, I am done with this project. I don't know how long I've been working on this for. I guess I could check when I 3D printed, like, those parts originally. But, like, it's so long that when I went to find those files, it actually said a long time ago. So this has been in the works for a while, but it's finally done. Here's the board itself. I did change this. This is the only thing I changed, like, with all the characters. I did not, on the board game, change their outfits or, like, on the printed material, like, none of that, but here, like, I gave them, like, color-accurate stuff. Scooby-Doo, you know, I left be, it's fine. But, you know, I gave Fred some blue, Daphne purple, Shaggy green, Velma orange, and taped Scrappy-Doo with shipping tape right over Mrs. White. So here we have the board game itself, and we can kind of see some stuff here. Scrappy-Doo, I did, like, I painted white over Mrs. White, and then I just printed pictures of Scrappy-Doo, used shipping tape. Now, one of my friends pointed out, in theory, when you're mixing up the cards and selecting who the murderer is, if one of them's Scrappy-Doo, you would feel the tape. So maybe what I should do, this would be a very quick change, is just put shipping tape on all of the cards, because that would fix that problem. But he just went with, like, having it face down and making sure that he didn't, you know, accidentally feel shipping tape. But so that'd be, like, maybe the only modification I would make to this. And here we can kind of see, like, there's a better picture of, like, everything that's painted, but you can see them, like, lined up with their actual weapon. The monster chain, I didn't say this, but I decided just paint the card instead, because the chain, you know, it already works as a chain. So I didn't paint the chain at all, I just painted the card to match. But yeah, we can see here, like, the main thing I did for the board was I painted, like, green stuff here, and then just to make it stand out more, I did, like, white around the green and continued it for the entire doorway, for every single doorway, which I think definitely helps them stand out more. I also decided I wanted to put a little ghost in the graveyard, just as, like, a nice Easter egg. I never said this, but, like, as I was working on this, I just decided to make the question marks stand out a little bit more, so I painted, like, the edges around them. And then, of course, I made it so that the green paint was actually, I mixed neon blue with neon yellow, so when under a black light, it glows, which, you know, realistically, we're not going to play this board game with a black light turned on as our only light source, but I don't know, it's a cool Easter egg, and it makes the ghost over here a little extra cool. Here we can see all of the pieces, all the metal pieces that I painted, and I actually didn't change, I said earlier I didn't like the ghost clown bomb. I actually didn't really deviate too much from it in the end, because I used gold instead of, like, the ugly greenish yellow, but it still looks like it fits that, and it works for the purposes of this. But just, oh my goodness, I remember painting this bomb. This bomb was the worst. Like, there were two things that were difficult to paint. I saved them towards the end. It was the bomb and the spell book. The spell book was difficult just because painting the text and, like, the bone, but also, like, the paint that goes over it, like, all these tiny details were difficult. The bomb was difficult just because it kept on rolling around, and I had to repaint constantly. But, you know, everything else was pretty easy and straightforward, and I just think this looks so much better than what you actually get in the board game. Now here's all of the 3D printed pieces. I did say that, like, I found 3D models. At this point, I can't, you know, go back and tell which model is which, so I feel like I can't really give proper credit, because if I just look up Fred 3D model, I don't think I can find off of this the original. But What I will say, and what I forgot to say in the intro bit, is I did actually like make the base plates themselves and choose when to like cut them into the model. And in some cases I might have like deleted parts of the model just so that, you know, it was flush, or I edited it so it was flush against this. So in that sense I did create this, but I just wanted to say what is something I did versus what is something I found. And a lot of this is stuff that I found, but I did also actually modify some of it. So if you want to download these pieces, you know, if you would rather use this than the cardboard cutouts, then I was able to get them on the Thingiverse, and the link is in the description. My friends liked the idea of this so much that they wanted for me to create a Pokemon clue. So that is the next project, and I have no clue how long that's going to take for me to make. That was in the works. So that is it. Thank you for watching. Bye.